which parts go with what. We need to tell it what parts go with what. So it needs to know somehow that that the high poly part from this goes with the low poly part from that. All right. There's a few ways to do it. Do you understand the problem, or should I go ahead and bake these without doing it, just to show you what I mean?
I mean, I think we kind of know.
Make it without, honestly.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna make a new. What? Get out of here. Bruh, what is going on? I can never merge these. Okay, let's do whatever. There. Alright. So we've got our high, and we've got our low. Our UVs are good. So this is going to be an example of what happens if you bake this without telling it how to separate every individual piece. And so this will be good. This will kind of show you a little bit of the kind of like workflow for baking. I'll use Marmoset as an example, but Substance works very similar. So I'll just make a folder called bake, and I'm exporting my low.fbx. And now I'm exporting my high.fbx. Alright, now I'm gonna get Marmoset. And remember, you can use any baking program, Marmoset, XNormal, Substance Painter, they're all the same. They all do the same thing, just different interfaces. Alright, so let me change this to be a better, yeah, I like that one. Alright, I gave someone from Marmoset hell for not having an educational license, by the way, so sorry, but I did make somebody have a annoying day over this not being free for you guys. Alright, so you just put them in a bake group. It's going to be really similar in Substance Painter. I just like this interface better. Okay, then you tell it where you want to save the file to. So I'm working on my desktop, bake, and we'll call this whatever test bake. And we want normals and ambient occlusion. And because I don't want to be here all day, we'll render a small one, 512 by 512, with no padding. All right, bake. Now we've got a normal map and an ambient occlusion map. Let's see what they look like on our mesh. Actually doesn't look too bad.
So we move the cylinder out?
Yeah, which I can't do because I'm burning.
So does that mean we should keep some objects separate when baking?
It's highly dependent on like what you're doing, but yeah, there are definitely times when you want things to be separate.
Okay, so I probably need to, unfortunately, keep my objects separate when baking the maps, but then I can combine them all later. I have to give them the same UV though, despite that, right? Ah, yep, there it is.
Well, actually, it kind of looks fine. Oh, okay, here we go. Do you see back here? It's kind of hard to tell. Let me make this higher res, just to make it more obvious. Yeah, you see how we're getting normals from this back here? It's kind of hard to tell. If I make this, like view this to you kinda get the idea. Like, we don't want this. This should be clean, right? And if we look at our texture here, yeah, we can see we've got a lot of problems. Photoshop. Ye old Photoshop. I don't know why someone hasn't made an open source clone of Photoshop yet. That would be really great.
There are several. It's just nobody.
They're just
uses
not.
them.
They don't all do. They don't all do everything it needs to do though. Like I've messed around with GIMP and Krita, and they just suck.
It's like if you're using it for like the more like art / drawing side instead of the like
I need to
Photoshop
be able to just
side,
do stupid things. Like I need to be able to just like take a random screenshot and just paste it straight into my document. Like
then take
like this is the kind of stuff I need to
and
be able
paste
to
it
do.
into your document.
What?
Then you can take a screenshot and paste it in.
No, you can't. Not in Krita.
I can do that in Ibis Paint X on an iPad. That is a free application.
You can do that in Krita?
I think so.
Any
I think
application where you
screenshots
can
for, like, the
import
web and
something
paste
is
them
another
in as
layer.
references.
Really? And it makes it like a layer?
Yeah, like
Oh,
there's an entire function in Ibis Paint X which is just duplicate from canvas, and it duplicates everything that's active on your canvas, and you can just like cut out a part of it that you need and then just put it somewhere else.
Okay, well, I'll have to check that stuff out, but for now, I'm just an old boomer that uses Photoshop.
And Procreate is pretty
I
good.
mean, Photoshop is free, so.
You only have to buy it once.
All right, everybody, bring it back in. Bring it
You
back
already
in.
have it now.
So you see what we're talking about here? You see this like weird, very crappy looking like after image from, you know, the other part of the mesh? We need to fix that. So, okay, so here's the problem. What happens when you bake something is, you know, it reaches out a certain distance, and we kind of try to visualize for you guys what that distance is. So it's going to be the distance that you set in the baking properties, and so it's going to reach out. It's going to literally do this to your mesh. It's going to inflate your mesh, and it's going to record everything that the ray hits. Okay? So there's two ways to fix this, and yeah, pay attention, Caleb, because you'll want to know this. So one way to fix it is to create an exploded version of your mesh.
Oh.
Yeah, what does that mean? It sounds fun, doesn't it?
That's why some people have blend shapes and so
Yeah.
files have just exploded.
Yep, that's exactly why. Blend shapes are a great way to do it too. But yeah, so basically what you do is you say, okay, I've got, you know, this sci-fi piece here, and I don't want it to, you know, record information from this other piece. So let me get that.
And you can just export an
It's just-
exploded version of the mesh because it'll have the same UVs as the original.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can just, oh my god, that's gonna make.
Now let me show you a trick.
this work so much
So yeah,
easier.
Caleb mentioned blend shapes. An easier way is to use keyframes. So you're all in animation, so you know what a keyframe is. So you just come in here, make sure, because you want to be able to put this all back together when you're
That's
done.
keyframe 1.
Yeah, so key everything, and then, you know, come all the way over to, you know, let me delete all these because I just noticed there's another one on there.
It's not like Unity where it's like, it'll give you your default as, you know.
Yeah, so you key everything, and then you grab your low piece and your high piece, and just move it out of the way, and key it. So now you can come in here, and it looks like somehow I missed my keys on the high poly. So I missed key 0 on that, so whatever, key it. And
That makes-
boom, so we just stretched it, move them apart. Alright, let's do this right. Make sure you get everything. Why are there keys here? cancel. Okay, there. I think now we're good. So take that and that, move them. Well, I screwed up again. Sorry, guys. Okay, select hierarchy. I want everything key because see, they're not all at 0. So I'm gonna key it all. And now I'm gonna go over here, and we're going to move this, that, and move it there. Key that. Okay, that's what I want. Alright. Now same thing, we're going to take this, and this, and we're gonna move it. But I need this piece too.
This makes so much sense. Like, I can make an exploded version with all the separate parts, do all the subcontainer stuff, and then when all of that's done, I can basically go back and merge everything because it has the same UVs.
Yes.
And then I can export the FBX again for like the version that goes in games. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of doing this before.
Yep. Okay. So this makes sense. Is it sticking for everybody else? And so now you see I can export these. I can bake it. It won't have those same intersection artifacts because the things are going to be far apart. And because when you remember how I demonstrated what the low poly cage looks like when it reaches out, these things are no longer touching each other. Makes sense. It's okay. Somebody ask a question. I know somebody's got a question.
This is a little unrelated, but would it make, like, I mean, it wouldn't really make sense to do this, but theoretically, could you go into the file of the ambient occlusion in the other one and just like bring it to Photoshop and like fix something? And if you input it, you can?
I do that all the time. Because sometimes you'll bake, you'll set everything up, you'll be as conscientious as you can. You think you've got everything good, and then you bake it, and there's just this one weird little thing, and you're like, you could spend forever figuring out why and rebaking, or you could just be like, hey, airbrush that out. So yeah, I've certainly done that many times. Valid option. Anybody else have any questions? Is this making sense to everyone? It's a little bit of a brain bender. That's good. All right. Cool. So do I actually need to take these in and bake them and show you that it works, or do you just kind of get it and believe me? Okay. There is another better way to do this, but it's a little bit dependent on the tool you're using to bake. Okay. So this is going to work with anything, any dumb baker. Like you could pass this through X normal, it'll work fine. You could pass this through the Doom 3 editor normal map baker, and
well, I might try that now.
you can literally use the Steam version of Doom 3 to bake normal maps.
I kind of want to try that now just so I can say somewhere like, by the way, I baked the normals with this using Doom 3.
On your art station, like where people have like software used, you've just got Doom 3 listed in
for
there.
baking normals.
Yeah.
Just exclusively use that. Everything else gets baked through like Substance Painter. The normals are done with Doom 3.
Yeah. So literally, and the way it works is you literally just open the console in Doom and you just type like nrm.exe space the path to your high poly and the path to your low poly, and then like the path that you want it to bake to, and just hit enter, and it'll just like churn for a few seconds and then spit out an image. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Couldn't you use a version of Doom as a game engine at some point?
Yeah, it's open source.
So
yeah.
So you could technically just
you could make your whole game in Doom 3. Yeah.
Now I'm wondering, like, I kind of want to see like what this would do as an experiment. Use the worst or most convoluted possible software for each step of the modeling process. So like for modeling, actually creating the model, find like the oldest, most archaic, unsupported modeling software.
Most of my old stuff was in Softimage.
Render it through Doom 3. Textures, do it in like Photoshop with a mouse. Like you're not allowed to use any kind of tablet. You have to do it with a mouse, and then just put that up on ArtStation, list all the software, and wait.
Photoshop with a mouse.
Like just issue it as a challenge to anyone who thinks they
I
can
feel
do
like
better.
someone's done that as like a YouTube video.
This is the worst.
Yeah, that'd make a
options.
good YouTube video. All right.
I feel like that'd be really funny.
Okay, so let's get back on track. So the point being, that is how, you know, if you've got kind of a simple normal map baker that doesn't have a lot of advanced features, you can explode your mesh and you can fix all those artifacts that way. Okay. Some bakers, like Marmoset and Substance Painter, have a feature that matches your high to your low poly by suffixes or like naming conventions. Okay? So, and this is the way I like to do it. You paying attention, Caleb?
Yes.
Because yeah, this is, in my opinion, this is a much better way to do your bakes than an exploded bake. So, if you notice here, my low poly is named frame underscore front underscore low. Okay? My high poly, this is named frame underscore front underscore high for frame front high 1, frame front high 2.
And do programs actually recognize those?
Yeah, Substance Painter does and Marmoset does.
That will also help.
Yep,
So it's just naming them the same thing, but then adding like underscore low and underscore high.
Yeah,
Does
yep.
capitalization matter?
No. Well,
Okay.
it all depends on the program, but usually they work to implement some kind
Sometimes
of
things
fuzzy match.
Do because it's
Yeah.
like is local for one, capitalization on that matters. There is no catching that,
Right.
which is really funny.
But so like, see how like this is like bullet high, and you know casing high, 1 and whatnot. Well, on my low poly, this is all just 2 pieces. It's just oh yeah, and I have a separate casing. Like I have the casing separate from the bullet, because you know in the game, you know when you reload, you don't want full bullets to come out because that's not realistic.
Yeah.
You want the casings.
You just
to come
need the
out.
casing.
Yeah.
So many people get that wrong. It's so funny.
Also, man, so many people don't animate the cylinder indexing on their revolvers. Like I notice even Destiny doesn't do it.
I'm very okay. So to be fair to Destiny, a lot of those are not really revolvers, but on the ones that are, it pisses me off.
Yeah. And so like in my game, I actually have a whole. I shouldn't have even done this because it's stupid. But like I've got a whole system for playing animations on the hands synchronized with the weapons. But you can't animate the cylinder indexing because the animation is going to restart every time, right?
Yeah.
So like you need it to index and continue.
Which you
Indexing.
can do to an extent with animation states linked to the ammo amount that you have. I mean, that's how I would do it.
Right. Yeah, you're getting into where I'm going with it. But just with an animation clip, you can animate like position 1 indexing to position 2, but
Right.
every time you play it, it's gonna snap back to position 1, and I want it to like actually roll around. It's like nobody's ever gonna notice it. But yeah,
I noticed in I think it was Borderlands 3. This was like the first time I really noticed. Like I was using one of their revolvers, fired off 2 shots, went to reload, noticed there were exactly 2 of the shells had been fired.
That's
and I was
awesome.
like,
Yeah.
wait a
Yeah,
minute.
and so I have animation notifies in my animation blueprints in Unreal that handle rotating the cylinder and spawning empty casings based on the number of shots left in the clip. So,
Dude, like that
so
was
that's
like
where
one
it
of
gets
the
fun,
first,
like combining animation with like programmatic stuff. It gets you can.
Like they didn't have to
It's
do
fun.
that, but it made so much sense.
It just feels better. Like if you care about your game and you just care about the details, like I think people, even if they don't notice it, because like honestly I
You'll
never
kind of like
noticed.
feel it.
I never noticed the cylinders don't index in Destiny until I was working on this, and then I was looking at other games,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh damn, they just didn't bother with that, But
Yeah.
but I was like,
a lot of their
but it's gonna bother
A lot
me.
of their cylinders have like a design that like you'd notice if it was spun, and so that's why they don't. I think is just to keep that
Well, it's just
design
complicated,
there,
and you know
but
they've
at the
got a
same
lot of
time,
other
it's
stuff to work on, so it's like, you
Yeah.
know, whatever, I get it, you know, that's like a kind of last pass.
Like, I mean, they can kind of explain it with sci-fi bullshit, go bird, but it's
Right.
like,
But it's, you
it's
know,
cool when
it's-
games
it's
do
cooler, it's
that.
cooler when you pay attention.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. My point being was, what I wanted to show you was
The naming.
the naming. So the casing, low and high, and you can have multiple meshes of high that go to a single mesh of the low, right? So like, see how like I've got, like this is 2 pieces, but my low is 1 piece. And it doesn't matter if this is named high and high 1, you know, it'll still match them. There's one more trick I want to show you, and that
So
is...
it's like if you have like an object that you condense multiple into one, you can do like case it like or bullet high 1,
Yeah.
and then just bullet low, and it'll match high and high 1.
To low, yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
that is very helpful.
Yep. And now I've got one more little trick to show you, and that is multi-object renaming in Maya.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is a neat little trick. So like, let's say, you know, whatever, this is our bullet. These are the 2 position parts of our, you know, high poly bullet, but you know, they're not named bullet, they're named, you know, cylinder 1 and cone 1. I could come in here and I could go bullet high, and then I could go here and I could go, you know, bullet high 1, and that would work, but you know, what if I've got a whole freaking bunch of pieces? Because, you know, if you look at my high poly mesh, like I've got 9,
Yeah.
I've got 9 pieces of the injection rod.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just kind of irritating. So what you can do, this is a neat little secret in Maya. Come up here. It might be collapsed like mine was. Do you see, there'll be this little XYZ thing. I don't know why they did this, but so this, there's a rename script hidden under here. Caleb, you gotta watch, because it's up here. There's this little crosshair. You click there, and you can change this drop down to rename. And this is like a little secret rename script. And so what this does is if you select these, if you select, you know, 2 or more meshes, you can come in here and you can name it, you know, new name, hit enter, and it'll automatically name them all
Oh, that is
1,
very
2, 3,
helpful.
etc. So that's very helpful. This is really nice too, because you can also select by name. So say I want to select all my high poly, you can use wildcards. So you can just say star high, or wait, maybe it might be case sensitive, star underscore high, yeah, and then see it just selected all my
That's
high
cool.
poly stuff. Or I can
Oh,
say, you
that's
know,
helpful.
star underscore low, and it just selected all my low polys. So that's a really handy little thing.
Okay.
All right, so now that all makes sense, you know, we can do a quick demonstration, I guess. But if we take our named high and low polys, you know,
I am gonna have to do so much shit on the sword, but this is gonna be worth it because my
Yeah.
baking will be so much better. It'll go so much better for it.
high,
I think I have full backups here.
and you know, I just realized this might not actually work because it's like 2 separate objects and stuff. But basically, when you import them into your baker, it will work. Okay, let me actually take a little. I'm gonna try to do this and actually kind of make it work live. I'll try to show you how to actually do this in Substance Painter. So, if everybody wants to pay attention just one last